Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. Several graded stakes races at Santa Anita on Saturday. Let's take a look at the Grade 1 Beholder Mile for fillies and mares, carded as race number 9. Remember, if you sign up for a DRF Bets account, you get a great deal. If you deposit $50, you get to bet with $200. Find out more at bets.drf.com. Let's meet the fields for the Grade 1 Beholder Mile, and you're going to see several horses that competed in the Grade 2 Santa Monica Stakes on February the 16th. The winner of that race, your 4-5 morning line favorite, the Keeneland graduate, an extremely classy Marleys Freedom. All she's done is win 5 of 6, and you could argue with a better trip, she would have won the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint as the favorite.
Yeah, that's the way that I look at her. I think she ran far and away the best race in the filly and mare sprint, and, circumstances got the better of her. She was a little bit sluggish out of the gate, but neither here nor there. You're right. She's rock solid. She just shows up and runs her race. The Santa Monica, I'll admit, it may not have been, in my opinion, one of her better efforts. I thought it was more workmanlike than anything, but at the same time, I just look at it and say, boy, if she can get the 2 turns, which is no guarantee, she's never done it before, but she has won at a 1-turn mile. If she can handle the 2 turns, I think she's strictly the horse to beat.
I agree with you. I'm a little bit concerned about the 2 turns, but I think that in the Santa Monica, she was workmanlike, but it might have been her first race over a wet track that she might not have cared of. And I really wonder if Baffert truly had her cranked up for that race, knowing that the Beholder was probably the immediate goal early in this season. Marleys Freedom beat 3 of these common foes in the Beholder Mile, including the number 2 Selcourt. And I really thought that if Selcourt was going to beat Marleys Freedom, it was going to be in the Santa Monica, because she just shook loose in the early portion of that race, faced no pressure whatsoever. I didn't like the fact that she made a very early lead change on the turn, and while game in the stretch, I've never thought of her as a router, and now she's going to go 2 turns for the first time with perhaps a little bit of speed.
I was going to say, there's going to be some other horses to keep her company, too, which is another concern for a horse like this. And I have to be honest, I wanted to give her the filly and mare sprint, just given the circumstances. That seemed like a very, very tough spot to begin with, but then also with the pace situation. I'll admit, the past 2 races I just have not been impressed with, and you have to wonder, she was gone for such a long time. Did she lose a little bit in that time off? Because it was an injury-induced layoff. It wasn't as though they just put her away to put her away. It's making me wonder if she's not quite what she once was.
Beholder, the main speed nearest the inside, but Timeform US believes that she could face some company up front, and that red bar indicating a fast pace might work against all of the speeds. We see Selcourt. We also see the number 3 Paradise Woods, who's one of our favorite horses. And Paradise Woods, Grade 1 winner of the Zenyatta, Grade 1 winner of the Santa Anita Oaks. She has a lot of credentials. She returned off a lengthy layoff last time out in the Santa Monica. That, you could argue, was the built-in excuse. She was also in chase mode, chasing Selcourt early. I think with that race under her belt, she can improve. I think this distance is a lot better for Paradise Woods than the 7 furlongs, and I would ride her just like this. I would try to put her on the engine, because that's where she's done her most damage.
I think that is the optimistic way to look at her, and as much as I hope that we see her sort of return to form, I think, I don't know if she can run anymore. I mean, yeah. I know she was gone for a long time, and you're right. She has that built-in excuse off the layoff, now getting out to a more favorable distance. She has been sluggish out of the gate in each of her past 3 starts, usually a sign of a horse that's kind of either going off form or losing interest. And that's part of the reason that she was in chase mode, because she was so slow out of the gate, and then she was rank. There are so many things that make me believe that she just doesn't want to do it anymore, or she can't do it. Look, this could be the time that she ends up scoring at a decent and respectable number, but to me, I just don't know if she can run anymore.
Bob Baffert's big bazooka in this race, of course, is Marleys Freedom. He also has just a smidge the number 6, who we see close to this expected fast pace. Just a smidge has won 2 out of her last 3 races. She likes to be forwardly placed, and her job in here might be to help soften up horses like Selcourt and Paradise Woods and make things a bit easier for her classy stablemate. She's just a little bit slow on paper, although it seems she excels at this distance.
Yeah, and I think just the running style standpoint, she's going to go. I don't think there's any question about are they going to try to rate her or anything like that. Like you say, her game is speed. All wins have come basically in gate-to-wire fashion, with the exception of the career debut, and she was only a head off. I just kind of look at her and say, I don't know that she's actually good enough to win a race like this. But again, if for some reason everyone says, oh, she's not good enough, she'll come back to us, I mean, we've seen crazier things happen.
The #1 Secret Spice also has good speed, although I don't think that speed is of the class of Selcourts or Paradise Woods when she's on her best game. I think this Timeform US pace projector is correct in terms of where Secret Spice will be after the first half mile. Listen, she was awesome 2 starts back. The last time she set foot on a fast track, she earned a 106 Spire speed figure. She won by 11 lengths. She also changed back to a wrong lead when being geared down late, and I found it odd that after that race she was away for so long. She was beaten by just a smidge last time out. Maybe just a smidge had the track in her favor that day over a wet surface. If Secret Spice can somehow find that 106, which isn't a Barrett Beyer, boy, she could be tough at a big price.
I tell you what, if she runs the 106, she's probably going to win in a spot like this. But you and I talked about it. That N2X, that was a race of the day that we went over, and we both said if she runs the 106, she's going to win, no question about it. The problem is that it was such the outlier on her page. I picked her, but I wanted her to prove to me that she could do it again. Well, guess what? She kind of reverted back to what she is, sort of a mid-70, high-70 range. Unfortunately for her and the connections, that kind of effort's not good enough to win or even hit the board here.
Exuberance has shown promise throughout her career. Second in the Las Virginis last year, behind Dream Tree, then had a few issues and problems and was away for the races from about 6 months. It appears this barn is slowly getting her back into form. She demolished a field of non-winners of one other than horses coming from off the pace last time out, and this is a big step up in class. But if you do believe, as Timeform US thinks, this pace is going to be fast, maybe she comes along and gets a piece at a big price.
I think the blinkers going back on helped her a little bit as well. I agree with you. I thought that was a good effort, and she continues to trend the right direction. I'm not sure that she's a win contender, but if you are playing any sort of an exotic, and again, keep in mind the connections in this race for any of these horses, they'd love to get a grade 6 placing, a grade 1 placing in particular. It wouldn't be a shocker to me to see her hit the board.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the grade 1 Beholder Mile. I think this is the right spot for Mopatism, if there's ever been a right spot for Mopatism. She is hardly a win machine. She is only 3 for 23 lifetime, but last time out, first start of the year, sprinting, distance might be a little short. She stayed within range of Marleys Freedom and Selcourt. I thought it was a good start to her campaign. The turf start 2 starts back is a throwout. The Breeders' Cup Distaff against Monomoy Girl is a throwout. The Delaware Handicap against Elate, a true grade 1 horse, is a throwout. She has kept good company. She just really doesn't have that fast race. I think if she gets a setup, though, that race is still there for Mopatism as she makes her second start of her 5-year-old campaign. I'm expecting her to run late. Doug O'Neill said Mario Gutierrez chose Mopatism in this race over Pavel in the Dubai World Cup.
I mean, look, good on him if that was the case. I hope it all works out. I picked her second in here. I think that she's in here with a chance. Now, the problem is what you alluded to. You and I like her, but boy, she doesn't love to win races. And to be honest, I'm at a point now, based on what she's done throughout her career, I don't actually know what her best game is. For the longest time, I thought it was going to be really long, 9, 10 furlongs. Well, maybe that did or didn't happen. We know she can't run on grass. That's very clear. She's 3 for 4, and she's never been out of the exacta at this distance. This probably is what she wants to do. I think she's going to need to run arguably the race of her life to get it done. The thing I like the most about her, though, she's just consistent. She shows up. She runs. Sometimes it's good enough. Most of the time it's not, but at least you know you're going to get an honest effort out of her. The other good news is you're going to get a square number.
You're going to get a square number. As you mentioned, she is 3 for 4 on dirt at this distance. She is 0 for 19 at every other distance and situation. Maybe the mile with the right pace scenario gets Mopatism into the winner's circle, but Marleys Freedom, she'll get the jump on Mopatism most likely. She'll probably sit a really nice trip sitting 3rd or 4th early.
Yeah, the difficult thing here is from a gambling standpoint, she's probably going to be 2 to 5, 1 to 5, maybe even. She's going to be somewhere in that vicinity, so there might not be a ton of value there. I just think she's far and away the most likely winner.
Give me numbers.
5-7-2-1.
7-2-5-4 for me in the grade 1 Beholder Mile, one of several nice races at Santa Anita on Saturday. Take advantage with a DRF Bets account. Deposit $50, bet with $200 at bets.drf.com. Approximate post time for the grade 1 Beholder Mile, 5 o'clock Pacific. Good luck.